Good morning. I've been reading some stuff and I just عمل شاي حار بارد. الشاي برد والملح حق تقرا. شكرا شكرا. يلا خلينا نبدي. ليش ما ملاهيش داح شوية وين نفسي. The consider minimum viable product. Consider another kind of MVP technique. The consider MVP. To understand how this technique works, meet Manuel Ross, the CEO of an Austin, Texas-based startup called Food on the Table. Food on the Table create weekly meals, then plans, and a grocery list that are based on food you and your family enjoy. Then books into local grocery stores to find the best deals on the ingredients. Okay. After you sign up for the site, you walk through a little setup in which you identify your main grocery stores and check off the foods your family likes. Later, you can pick another nearby store if you want to compare prices. Next, you are presented with a list of items that are based on your preferences and asked what are you in the mood for this week. Make your choices, select the number of meals you are on a plan, and choose what you care money health variety. Okay. زين خش ستارت فاير. يقول لك at this point the site search through recipes that match your needs, prices, out of cost of the meal for you, and lets you print out your shopping list. Clearly, this is an elaborate service. Behind the scene, a team of professional chefs recipes that can take advantage of items that are on sale at local grocery stores around the country. These recipes are matched via computer algorithm to each family unique needs and preferences. Try to visualize the work involved. Database for almost every grocery store in the country must be maintained, including what's on sale at each one. This week, these groceries has to be matched to appropriate recipes, and then appropriately customized, tagged, and sorted. Uh, Tagged and sorted. If a recipe calls for a broccoli, is that the same ingredients as the working on sales and local market? After reading the description, you might be surprised to learn that Food on Table began life with a single customer instead of supporting thousands of grocery stores around the country as it does today. Food Tea support just one. How did the company choose which store to support? The founders didn't until they had their first customer. Similarly, they began life with no recipes whatsoever until their first customers was ready to begin her meal planning. In fact, the company served its first customer without building any software, without signal any business development partnership, and without hiring any chief. Manual, Manuel, along with VP of Product Steve, went to local supermarket and moms groups in his hometown of Austin. Part of their mission was the typical observation of customers that is part of of design thinking and other ideation techniques. However, Manuel and his team were also on the hunt for something else. Their first customer. Then, يقول لك as they meet potential customers in those settings, they would interview them the way any good market research would. At the end of each interview, they would attempt to make a sell. They would describe the benefit of photo, name a weekly subscription fees, and invite the customer to sign up. Most times they were rejected. After all, most people are not early adopters and will not sign for a new service sign unseen. But eventually someone did. That one early adopter got the concierge treatment. Instead of interacting with the food product via personal software, she got a personal visit each week from the CEO of the company. He and the VP of product would review what was on sale on her preferred grocery store and carefully select recipes on the basis of her preferences, going so far as to learn her favorite recipes per item she regularly cooked for her family. Each week, they would hand her in person a prepared package containing a shipping list of relevant recipes and make change as necessary. Most important, each week they would collect a check of $9, 9.95. Talk about inefficient. Measure accord. Talk about inefficient, measured according to traditional criteria. This is a terrible system, entirely nonsensical and complete waste of time. The CEO and VP of product, instead of building their business, are engaged in a directly of solving just one customer's problem instead of marketing themselves to millions. They sold themselves to one. Worst of all, their offer didn't appear to be leading to anything tangible. They had no product, no meaningful revenue, no database of recipes, not even lasting organization. However, if viewed through the lens on the lean startup, lanes of something. They were making momentum progress. Each week, they were learning more and more about what was required to make their product a success. After a few weeks, they were ready for another customer. Each customer they bought, they made it easier to get to the next one because food could focus on the same grocery store, getting to know its product and the kind of people who shopped there. Well, each new customer got their concierge treatment, personal and home visit. The work, but after a few more customers, the overhead of serving them one-on-one started to increase. Only at the point where the founder were too busy to bring an additional customer, did Manuel and his team to invest in automation in the form of product development. Each iteration of the minimal viable product allowed them to save a little more time and serve a few more customers, delivering the recipes and shopping list via email instead of via an in-home visit, starting to parse list of what was on sale automatically via software instead by hand. Even eventually taking credit card payment online instead of a handwritten check. Before long, they had built a sustainable service offering first in the Australian area and eventually nationwide. But along the way, their product development team was always focused on scaling something that was working rather than trying to invest something that might work in the future. As a result, their development efforts involved far less waste than a typical for a venture of this kind. It's important to contrast this with the case of a small business, in which it is routine to see the CEO, founder, president, and owner serving customers directly. one at a time. It's a consumer MVP. The personalized service is not the product, but learning activity designed to test the leap of faith assumptions in the company growth model. In fact, the common outcome of a procedure MVP is to invalidate the company's proposed growth model, making it clear that a different approach is needed. This can happen even if the initial MVP is profitable for a company without a formal growth model. Many companies get caught in the trap of being satisfied with a small profitable business when pivot change their course or strategy might lead to more significant growth. The one way to know is to have tested the growth model systematically with real customers. لا ماما شكرا. شكرا. هم رجعوا الاثنين دا أقرأ ما قاعد يفارغاني ما أريد. الإنسان من ياكل ما يقدر يفكر. الإنسان من ياكل ما يقدر يفكر. إيه السؤال في التكين ما تعرفيها. إيه الناس ما الناس تقرأ مثقفين. فكر. The concierge. I'm not sure if this is the right way to pronounce it. Concierge. MVP. Lead conversionalized service. One customer a time. I like this. Okay. Pay pay no attention to the eight people behind the curtain. Meet Max Ventalla, a domain horizon technologies with a vision to build a new type of search software designed to answer the kind of question that state-of-art companies such as Google before it. Think about it. Google and its peer excel at answering factual questions. What is the tallest mountain in the world? Who was the 20 dot 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 dot. But for some subjective question, Google struggles. Ask, what is good place to go out for a drink after the ball game in my city? And the technology fails. What's interesting about this class of a question is that they are relatively easy to a person to answer. Imagine being a cocktail cocktail party surrounded by friends. How likely would you be able to get a high quality answer to your subjective question? You are almost certainly would get one, unlike factual queries, because they knowledge struggles to answer them, such as a question depend on a person answering them, his or her personal experience, state, and assumption of what you are looking for. To solve this problem, you're going to have to solve this problem. Max and Demon created a product called Airvark. With their deep technical knowledge and industry experience, it would have been reasonable to expect them to dive in and start programming. Instead, they took 6 months to figure out what they should be building. But they didn't spend that year at a whiteboard strategizing and engage in a lengthy market research project. Instead, they built a series of functioning products, each designed to test a way of solving this problem for their customer. Each product was then offered to beta testers, whose behavior was used to validate and refute each specific hypothesis. See example in the sidebar. I hate من الكتاب الشقاق. The following list of projects are example of ideation period. Rocket, a service to collect your rating from across the web and give better recommendations for you. Ninja, a way that you could open accounts in various applications through a single website and manage your data across multiple sites. The web, a central number that you could call and talk to a person who could do anything for you that you could do online. Web macros. A way, what is this? Away record sequences of steps on websites so that you could repeat common action even across sites and share recipes for how you accomplish online tests. Internal internet button company. A way to package step tasks taken on a website and smartphone fill functionality. People could encode buttons and share buttons on the social bookmaking. Good Luck Max and Demon had a vision that computers could be used to create a virtual personal assistant to which their customers could ask a question. Because the assistant was designed for subjective questions, the answer required human judgment. The early experiment, tried many variations. Uh, On this theme, building a series of prototypes for ways customers could interact with the virtual assistant and get their question answered. All the early prototypes failed to engage the customers. As Max described it, we self-funded the company and released very cheap prototype to test. What became was the sixth prototype. Each prototype was a 2 to 4 week effort. We used the humans to replicate the back end as much as possible. We invented 100 and 200 different prototypes to measure how many of them came back. The results were unambiguously negative until airport. Because of the short timeline, none of the prototype involved advanced technology. Instead, the MVP designed to test more important questions. They would be required to get customers to engage with the product until their first experience. Once we chose it, like Mr. says, we continued to run with the human replicating pieces of the backend for 9 months. We hired each people to manage queries, cholesterol high, conservation, and we actually raised our seat and series around before the system was automated. The assumption was that the lines between humans and artificial intelligence would cross, and we at least proved that we are context stuffy between you and me. Obviously, with plan 6 or 20 people. I don't know. I feel that I'm not learning a lot from this chapter. It's having a lot of repetitive information, so I would rather go and build something rather than keep reading it. I'll finish this session today. And I guess I will skip this chapter. Thank you.